Welcome to Living Holistically. Living is something that we all do. It represents the present. Living is something to consider. How much really goes into living holistically? I am your hostess, Karim, and it's an honor to be with you for the next hour where we will be discussing neurolinguistics, and I'll have a chance to describe to you what neurolinguistics is. Actually, it is something we do every day. We talk to the mind, but the mind has a language. And in order to get the mind to respond to the language, and you want to get the results that you're looking for, the words have to be carefully chosen. Most people know what the mind is, but the mind is a tool. It's an instrument. You are not your mind. You are not that. You are much more than that. It's just like language. Language is a tool that we use. And if you use a proper language, it turns on all the systems in your soul, spirit, mind, and your body. Let's talk about the body for a few moments. There are 33 trillion cells that make up the human body. And they all work in harmony with each other because there's an automatic system that's working. We are already perfected in terms of body systems. We have been given free will. That free will is what sometimes gets in the way of us looking for the highest and the ultimate expression, and our language does not match our goals. If you're going from Richmond to New York, you would prepare for the trip by making sure that your vehicle is roadworthy, that your means of transportation has already been decided. So in the decision-making process, we call that the free will. We make many millions of choices daily to do or not to do, to be or not to be. That is the question of how you utilize your vehicle, or how you invoke the infinite energy into existence and mobilize you towards your goal. Neurolinguistics is the language that the mind understands, is very clear, and it responds to your voice. So all day long, we're talking to ourselves. This self-talk has to be managed because the mind is not a blunt instrument like a hammer. The mind is an intricate, very complex instrument and has to be handled with care. The mind and the support of the mind is something that has been given to all of us. And so the mind loves stories. The mind loves attention. The mind loves construction, putting things together. It loves memories. It loves ideas. But someone has to be in command. You notice I didn't use the word control, because the mind is a part of the infinite universe. So the mind isn't in my body. The mind is everywhere. And so to communicate with the mind is like communicating with the biosphere, the energy that surrounds this whole planet. And so we are mind from head to toe, inside out, and from bone to skin. Many times we miss the mark and not say what we mean, because we need a very clean vocabulary in order to reach the mind. We have the capability of interacting with it and hoping for the best results, to become what you think. Or you are what you think all day long. You become what you think. So every idea held in mind reproduces after its own kind. And so if it works in nature, it definitely works in the field of the infinite mind. You are what you have thought about all of your life. And you've had, I'm saying you, but I'm saying we have used this mind in very destructive ways. And so we need to come back to 0 point. And when we come back to 0 point, we can reset our intention to use the mind as it was originally designed to use, as a tool for comfort, for compassion, and for wisdom. In the ancient Babylonian system, this is very interesting. We all spoke at one time on this planet one language. Everyone knew this language. It was the language of truth, the language of life. And every word that was spoken by the indigenous people of this planet, in its original context, we had a relationship with nature. We had a relationship with each other called true love and respect, dignity and honor. This truth, there were several societies, millions of societies all over this planet that didn't have a word for lie. You didn't have to have a word like believe. Or you didn't have to have a word like really, because people spoke without a doubt, because they knew that they were speaking to the Almighty One, the subconscious and the conscious mind. So we have a guest this afternoon. This is Dr. Adrien Bayo, who is a very highly respected leader in the community. And today we're going to talk about true love and couples getting in synchronized harmony with each other. So welcome, Dr. Adrien. How are you today?
I'm very well, thank you, Dr. Linda Karim, and for having me here again. I feel so privileged and humbled to be your guest today, and hopefully I can help shed some light on the topic at hand.
All right, so we're going to explore the male and female energy,
Yes.
the innocent, pure energy of people who are committed.
Yes.
Now, the word commitment means that you're committed, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
And when you're committed, what does that look like?
Wow. For me, first of all, commitment is like this. In a very simple level, we can say is being here when you're supposed to be here, when you've committed to something. But it goes beyond that. The word commitment has to take us again back to life and back to love. As we see, life is committed to life, and love is also committed to life, in the sense that, when we talk about two people or two entities coming together, we must understand that the Creator is a universal being, an entity that has committed to life and committed to love. So it is from that original standard, or the starting point. Science would say, the Big Bang, there was a commitment in the beginning for life to be and for life to continue. And so when we go back to that original standard, that life comes out of this commitment to life, and life is committed to love, and love is in turn committed back to life. So this is the paradigm that needs to be sustained. Now, we found out that in the universe, there are two primary aspects of energy, the negative and the positive. Everywhere around you, it's unfailingly, everything is made up of that two aspects of energy: the invisible world, the atomic world, the particle world, all until our so-called physical planetary world, or the human world. We see this manifested, the male and the female, the negative and the positive. So this suggests something very clearly, that from the inception of life, there's been this commitment of two aspects of life to come together, because without the negative and the positive, there is no energy.
That's true.
There's no energy. Nothing comes forth. And so it has to then be that the commitment must come from these two aspects. The negative and the positive must be fully committed in order to continue life and continue expressing life in a lovely form. So without commitment from the positive, think about it, no energy, no life, no love. No commitment from the negative, no life, no energy, no love. So with that type of understanding, clear scientific understanding that life has committed itself to us, to life, based on this polarity of two dual aspects of energy, it's incumbent on us now to really understand what that means as it relates to two human beings, a male and a female, coming together. So we're saying, hey, when you come together as one, when you come together, the negative and the positive, the male and the female, you're saying you're committed to something that has always been, which is the life, or the origin of life, to keep it going. And that's where I understand commitment as, in marriage, when two people, and it goes beyond just the relationship or union of man and woman. It goes in all aspects of things. The sun is committed, the moon is committed to the earth.
So what I'm saying, what I'm hearing from you is that life itself emanates from a point in consciousness,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
Because con means with science or with thought, with a systematic thought process.
Yes. Yes.
That we're on the same page.
Yes. Yes.
And that we're resonating in harmony with each other. And I'm always fascinated about that 0 point. Because in that point of unity lies the portal to all life. It's just like that egg and the other egg, the male egg and the female egg. When the male and female egg come together, mitosis takes place. And so what we're finding is this male and female relationship that is creates the spontaneity of life also continues and releases more energy, and therefore more love comes out of that union.
Exactly.
But you know, the male and female, mother and child, it's not just mother, female and male. I'm looking at how does the mother and the child come into play when you're talking about the continuum of life?
Well, I think you represent that very well in the continuum of life. After the male and the female come together, which is very important in terms of human life and any other form of life, the negative and the negative and the positive, male and female must come together. So they produce something, another form of energy, expanding, multiplying energy. And so the child now is supposed to now inherit the aspects, the characteristics of the parent. I would like to prefer the word parent and child, because the mother cannot produce the child by herself.
That's right.
You know, and so it has to be the parent and child relationship now comes into play after the male and female. And so we cannot get to the child without the first fundamental basic 0 point.
That's right.
Where the male and the female come together and produce this new entity. This, we can say, this love entity, because it comes out of, again, love. And so to keep that continuum of the negative and positive, the parents, no doubt, the child as the new energy in place is studying or is in a school, basically learning from the parents how to continue what the parents started. You know,
right. Okay.
You know,
so that they're the, instead of saying they're the offspring, they're the onspring.
Offspring. I like that.
They're actually the onspring of those parents. What happens when the parents don't have the a power or the ability to harmonize with each other?
My dear Dr. Linda, you know, this is an issue that has befallen humankind from, we can say, day one, if anybody can remember what day one is. But no doubt the ancient scriptures or scripts that has come down to us, as you mentioned, the Sumerian, Babylonian, Akkadian cultures help us to see that in the beginning of the human development, that somehow something went wrong. The male and the female, in part, could not really harmonize, very well.
Can I stop right here?
Yes.
I just love this word now that we've come this far in the conversation. I'm looking at this word called chaos. Where did that come from?
That's what we see around us in a way. We can say, in many ways, organized chaos.
Organized chaos.
In some form. And that goes back again to mankind trying to repair that damage, which was not really in the beginning, but that came about in the early stages of human life, like you said earlier, that mankind spoke one language before. We were of one, we understood ourselves that heaven and earth was connected. The spirit realm was open to us. We were clear as to who we are, what we are. And so there was no need for this division, these different languages and different, and back to this insight you gave us was that there was no need for the so-called opposite language, doubt. There was never doubt and fear. But somehow that has crept into the human psyche. And that's where we've lost the ability to harmonize. The male and the female seem to be at odds. You read in many in modern day terminologies, people are searching for love, searching for true love, but there's this always the male and female conflict, or men are machismo, we label ourselves, you are feminist, there's all these conflicting situations where men and women don't know how to live together, bring forth a child, a family in harmony, in accordance with what was in the original beginning of humankind. So it's very important that we deal with this issue at that fundamental level of male and female, the discord, which is not really there. For me, it's an illusion. In part, it's an illusion because it shouldn't be.
Absolutely. There's a Polynesian story. It's very, very ancient. Okay. And it talks about heaven was here on earth.
Yes.
And everybody walked and talked with the Creator.
Yes.
Right? And when everybody, was aware of the Creator's presence. And so someone got the idea in their psyche.
Someone.
That maybe we should make heaven a little higher so we can do other things in life.
Whoever that someone was, I think that was a bad thought that came.
It was a bad thought.
That we fed into. Just like many thoughts that come through, again, the mind being a tool that we entertain. We shouldn't entertain every thought that comes through the mind. And so we can see clearly that, but for that corruption that came into the human story, we should be living a life where, as we've seen it in the origin, love, God, whatever language fits people, pure energy. We were at a time where everything was just right. Everything was pure because God, love was in the midst. So there was you couldn't think of division. You couldn't think of the other. No, we were together. We were of this one presence. This mastermind was fully in control and permeated everybody. So we saw each other as a family. But until that corrupt thought came, and I think you also hit on it, it's that when someone feels that, I should be treated better, or I am beyond this, when that unnecessary selfish thought comes into play.
So it seems through observation that whole idea was like a surging energy. And people being immature, they didn't understand how to handle this surge.
So right.
Because, if you watch in nature deer or antelope taking care of their young. Or they just finished grazing and they are just laying down on the ground and being peaceful or eating. They're in their own orbit and they're in their own nature. But of course, there are times when an over-energized person, deer, goes hopping. You know, it doesn't last long. You know, or a billy goat or a goat begins to buck or butt heads, or a cow locks horns, and this is a surge of energy. It's just a surge
that's
because
all
it says E. E stands for energy, and go means it's just going through you. But it's not a normal state, right? It's not a normal state. And so when somebody is super aggressive, they can't maintain that super aggressive state for long because the body isn't built for stress. Not like that, you know, not like that. The stress, if kept at a minimum, you can be very healthy.
And it all depends, like you say, when that surge comes of a particular force or form of energy, it is for man or human, we've not developed the balancing system. Again, back to the negative and positive. If you have over positive energy, it is not correct. If you have over in terms of female minus energy, it's not. It's always how we seek the balance all the time. Because even I sitting here, I am composed of male and female. People may not like to, but that is the truth. I come out of a male and female energy, a man and a woman. And so there are components of that in me. So it is how I balance, yes, understanding my masculinity, but also understanding that, hey, to be over-aggressive is not the way to go. It never worked
it's exhausting.
Tell me about it.
Yeah, it's exhausting. I mean, there are people who just want to have a good argument, and then their whole body aches afterwards because
it's productive. It's
counterproductive, and it's very disturbing
very,
to the mind.
Very, and it goes both ways. There are other forms of energy. We still say it's a surge when you are too what's the word?
Passive.
Too passive. When you're too passive, everything, you just whatever. No. So there's that need for balance all the time.
Let me tell you this. Well, I went to China, and I competed in a 46 country martial arts competition.
Wow.
Everybody was like surging. How much chi you got? There was this one master who came. When he came into the room, everybody looked down. Nobody wanted to look up because he had such a peaceful energy.
I'm Doctor, so glad you raised that. You talked about your China trip and how you were part of this martial arts. Again, that exemplifies part of this energy that you're talking about. But go back to the ancient. What was martial arts in reality? It wasn't this aggressive form that we have now that is being put forward. It was a means of, again, balancing the mind and body, the physical and the spiritual.
And connecting with nature.
Yes.
Because this energy and this power that we call God, or that we call Brahma, or we call whatever your culture is in, is actually what you call it. And well, everyone has a word for this magnanimous power.
Yes.
And when a person doesn't do the martial arts or isn't involved in some sort of mind-body training, what happens is that they have no shield, they have no protection. And of course, in nature, if anything appears to be weak, appears to be weak, nature will eliminate that animal. If that animal is dragging one leg, not keeping up with the group, you see what I mean? Can be isolated and then be attacked because the energy, the chi level is not high enough. So, but I noticed that men tend to be less aggressive to women who are strong.
Interesting.
Right, because a woman can be very soft and very kind and very gentle and be packing a lot of chi.
I'm packing a lot of chi.
You be packing a lot of chi.
Dr. Linda, it's so beautiful. That analogy of women. We look at them, or we say they are soft beings, but are really stronger beings. Because when you look at the elements of life, actually, the so-called tender elements, water, air, are the strongest. Are really the strongest. And so we go back again. I like the martial art analogy because I love Bruce Lee, and Bruce Lee talks about water, how we should be like water, where we can flow like water, transform into any situation. Water fills in a bucket, it becomes a bucket.
Oh, we can be cold.
We can be frozen. Yeah, we can transform.
We can transform.
Yeah, from as needed. As needed, not just for the purpose of, we don't go out just fighting. A true man doesn't just go out there aggressively fighting for no reason. No, you learn the art to protect your family, protect yourself, in a sense. So it's again back to that beautiful soft energy that you women possess, which is so beautiful, where you see so-called the strong machismo man, and whether he likes it or not, the soft, tender sister by his side or her side really is the boss. Well, in a way.
When the mind is quiet, this is neurolinguistics. When the mind is peaceful, the whole body is strong.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
Right. Yeah. And so you have a peaceful state. That means you're conserving energy.
Yeah.
You're not wasting energy. And so you're containing the energy. Another way to say it, the Holy Spirit can dwell in that place.
Yes.
Because it is such a peaceful energy. Exactly. It does not mean that it's weak.
No.
But it's very kind and compassionate.
Amen.
And it supports life.
Yes. Bless again, from the tradition which I strongly adhere to, it says to us, blessed are the peacemakers, for they shall be called the children of God, children of Chi, children of the universe. So it's not just this mundane peacemaking we talk about, sending people to war zones. No, we talk about that deep inner peace that we all need to attain. And I really believe it starts with us understanding the balance of we call it again in the East, yin and yang, within ourselves, around us, and finding peace with that makes us strong. Because, it is well noted that the whole world, everybody is in search of peace. Everybody.
That's true.
Another word for really love, because for this great energy, it's peace, because when you're really in love, you're at peace.
That's true.
When you really love,
you don't want to fuss and fight.
No, you're at peace.
You just want to be peaceful.
Yes.
And then there's another way to transform, to take this same love energy. It could be a sexual energy, but then after you get through that phase, then it's about building. Isn't it about building?
It has to be.
What can you build together? What can you create together?
Yes.
And sharing family life. Where men who are territorial, they should be allowed to be territorial all they want. But the whole objective, and this is where I'm going, is to protect the womb. Right?
It's a very important place. Life comes from there.
That's right. And so it's a very special,
sacred.
It's a very sacred place. And it's the place where all religions support the womb of the mother. And there's the womb of the mind.
Exactly.
The womb of the mind, once it's synchronized with the physical womb, then you have a place where love can, really be established.
Dr. Linda, you are always on target, and I love this. I'm so glad I'm here. You said something about the creation of life within the womb, and the sexual drive, or through sex we produce. But what you said is that's not the peak of love.
No.
That is really the initiation into helping love grow, ascend to higher levels. Because the sexual act is just, but for many people, maybe some seconds,
2 or 3
minutes. But life that comes out of that needs to be tended to,
right,
so that it can grow. And so there are these other aspects of love that sometimes we have not really delved into, which is way beyond just we ejaculating, and depositing our egg, sperm, and all that. It is how we go beyond to the area of really knowing that what the act I've just performed is sacred. Back to commitment. If these two people are really committed, then they would begin to understand the sacredness of that act. That is, it's an initiation now for us to build, to resemble the universe, to be like God, to be like love, to have a family that must now go beyond just, again, conjugal love. Because conjugal love is just one aspect of love. There is the filial love, the parent love, the child love, and then there's the family love that has to all comes out from that seed point, that 0 point. And so it's very important that people understand that sexual act in and of itself does not dictate that you are really in love.
Right.
It is what, I would say, what happens before and after, especially after.
It's easy getting in.
Yeah. Sometimes it's easy getting in.
It's easy getting in. But, in order to maintain continuity, then you use all of the natural laws that you learn through the mother book.
Yes.
And I call the mother book nature.
Yes.
And nature shows you
everything we need.
Everything that we need to do. And one thing about the ancient Egyptian and ancient Babylonian priests, they always wore the leopard's skin, which is symbolic of don't change your spots.
Oh, interesting.
Don't change your spot. Once you find your spot, your home, stick with it.
Yes.
And these aren't mysteries. The protection of the womb, the home as a sacred place, as the temple.
Yes.
The body as a temple of the living God.
Yes.
And the place that you call your home is your temple.
Yes, it is.
It's a holy of all holies.
Yes, it has to be.
And like in Saudi Arabia, in Mecca, they have a rule of no discord in the holy city.
There shouldn't be discord even at home.
Exactly. The point is that there should be no discord at
period.
home.
Yes.
In the territory of the home, it's a no fight zone.
Amen.
Right? And so when we understand that the mind can unfold because it's not under any distress.
Okay.
The woman can do what she needs to do in managing a household and looking out unselfishly for everyone. And the man can do that too if he could be straight with somebody. See, in this world, you're gonna have to be straight with somebody. And I mean, there's this place in the heart that has to be really clean.
Yes.
Right? Your intent is pure love because you're protecting the womb.
Yes. Yes.
And then the other piece to that is protecting the mind from fear, from doubt, from anxiety, from distress.
Yeah.
And people get glimpses of that, but they don't know how to maintain, this on a daily basis. And so I'd like to ask you at this point, what are some of the things that householders who are in the classroom of divine love, what can they do? Just maybe 5 things that they can do to create more peace from a male's perspective. Because I'm going to give the female part in a minute.
Thank you. It's very clear to me, at least from my few years in this physical body, that the first thing in a family situation or marriage situation is to have gratitude. Gratitude. As a man, I should be grateful that a woman found me good enough to want to live with me forever, number one. And that is the very beginning of any good relationship, because when you first met somebody, you felt good, you were grateful. Oh, and so if we can sustain that all the time in a family setting, in a relationship with the man and the woman, really appreciating one another, that is very key. The minute we lose gratitude for our partner, that relationship is on the downward slope. And so once we keep gratitude ahead of us, the next thing that will come out of that would be respect automatically. Without a shadow of a doubt, if you are grateful for somebody, you respect them. You respect their opinions, you respect their thoughts, you respect everything about what they did, even their mistakes. You respect them and you help them out. You do the right things. So gratitude and respect, from that flows a myriad of other lovely characteristics. But if those two, especially gratitude, is not in place first, there cannot be true respect. That respect will not last. And that means there cannot be commitment. When you don't respect somebody, you don't commit. You would say things, but you won't follow through. Your neurolinguist, your language will be language of chaos, because you say one thing, you do another thing, because first you were not grateful, you don't respect your woman, definitely you're not committed to her. So I just want to let's dwell with those 3, because I said there's a lot. If a man can be grateful for the one whom he so choose, he went after her, he courted her, and now she accepted to be his wife, lifetime partner. Where did gratitude go? So we must keep this number 1. I'm very grateful for your partner. And then out of that, you must respect that person, because you made the choice. You accepted the choice. So you must respect the woman in all, even with her flaws, with whatever it is, as a package deal. You must respect. And out of that respect will come that eternal commitment to stay together, to do whatever it takes to keep the union going on. And then there are other smaller things, that comes out of it. If I respect you, I won't argue with you on frivolously, we would not be having fights every day, fault finding, picking picking little things. You know, all those things come out of because I've lost gratitude, I've lost respect, I'm not no more commitment. So we start nitpicking. Yeah, all those flaws were there in the beginning. You know, they were right there, but somehow the man chose not to see it at that time. But they were always there.
They were always there.
They were always there. So you get what you've pursued. So you must be grateful for it. You must respect it. You must commit to it, and then that will flow other things. You won't fight. You won't. You may have times when there are situations, but it will not escalate into, chaos.
Right.
And then one other thing I would put as part of a practical thing for men to do in order to keep their family going is you must pray together. You must find time together. For us spiritual people, praying is not just the audible speaking. It's the ability to want to speak to the universal force of love in your spouse, to speak in a language that reinforces your commitment. So it can be done verbally or non-verbally, but it has to be done together. It has to be done either in the morning, in the evening, or when you eat together, when you go to the restaurant together. It's not just about the frivolousness of, I like this new hairstyle. No. It's about how we connect these two energies,
how you continue to communicate.
Yes.
At the highest level.
At the highest level.
I think that this neurolinguistic piece, it satisfies the mind. The mind is very fickle.
Yes.
Right?
It's a powerful thing you have, Dr. Linda, and I really pray that you would help my center to develop neurolinguistic. I don't know what the neurolinguistians or neurolinguistics people, because I myself need it. We need it. We need to watch our language, how we communicate to one another.
I mean, when you wake up in the morning, do you say, "This is a beautiful day"? It doesn't cost anything.
No, it doesn't.
And you find, because you have spoken it, just like God spoke, that it was good, then you don't have to use that word. Oh, today is a good day. But it can be as simple as that. Today, like, oh, it's a good day.
Oh, yes, it is.
Guess what happens to your thought? The multiplying effect of the thought generator, right? This 33 trillion cell body. Everybody gets on the same word and begins to radiate how great or how good life is, and to be able to love yourself just like you are, just like your mother loved you when you were in the womb and she hadn't seen you at all. But she loved you because she hadn't even seen you, but she loved you before she even saw you. But she would begin to talk to you how beautiful you are and how wonderful you are, and that I care about you, and I'm going to carry you around for 9 months. I'm going to keep you safe and warm. And so this neurolinguistic piece is the language of truth. It's the language of life.
Yes, it is.
And you could use it on your children. And you could use it on yourself to have a beautiful day for the rest of your life and into eternity, because in Scripture it says that the Word of God resonates into eternity, into infinity. And therefore you can imitate that good role model, the great architect of the universe. You can imitate that great one and say, I have love in my heart, and this love is enough love for the whole universe. You can say that.
Yes, you can.
and you can avoid a lot of problems during the day, right?
Yes.
So, you can say, I will eat all the good food that's good for me, and leave it at that. Don't talk about the bad food. Just talk about all the good food that you can eat. So it's 920 billion species of plants that you can choose from without eating the same thing twice ever. But you can have a very beautiful life. It's just like Enoch was in the Garden of Eden, right? And he talked to God every day.
Why not?
Why not focus on your neurolinguistics, which is the language of life, of health, of prosperity, of good relationships?
Yes.
So I'll just get up in the morning and say, oh, I just have a great feeling that all of my children, everybody in my family are happy, healthy, and wise, and prosperous. You can say that. That's neurolinguistics. It's a very simple form, but it's enough to get you started.
It's powerful.
It's enough to get you started, and we do that kind of counseling in a 10-part series, and so you're actually trained on how to use the language so you can steer yourself to your goal. So you can just drive through life and talk about how happy, healthy, wealthy, and wise, and no matter what's going on in the world, your world is different because you speak another language. So, there are people who are misusing, this is what I call substance abuse. You know what substance abuse is?
Misusing the word.
Sub means, something that is under you that supports you. It's like electrical energy, supports you and helps to keep your spine straight and helps you to be animated. And this substance supports us.
Yes, it does.
And there's more substance than we could ever measure. However, when you don't speak to the substance and form it properly, what happens? You have a malformed experience.
So true, so true. Dr. Linda, the power of words, again, as we are clear with the Abrahamic faith and other faiths, it's based on word. The power of life and death is in the tongue, and the words we use. And no doubt we must encourage one another to always be in the state of projecting goodness all the time. It's very important. Even though some may say, just thinking positively, but it is true. As you think, so you are. So are the words that will come out of you. So if you think, you see, some will ask the question, is the glass half empty or half full? An optimistic, positive mind would say it is half full, not empty. Would always look at the increment, would always look at the good. And it's very important that we help persons understand that within the family context, where they are parents and children, there is the need to keep our language, our words clear and beautiful all the time.
And to give life an opportunity to grow and not be deformed.
Yes, it's important.
Right?
It's important we use the clear, beautiful words of encouragement, of health, of life, of love, of support.
So, many times children are discouraged because of the misuse
of language again.
And the power of the mind. And a high suggestibility that a child or a vulnerable person is, and so we have to be considerate
very, very
of each other.
Yes.
And the essence of who we are can manifest in the form of love and compassion.
So true, doctor. So true, doctor.
So when people are safe for you to be with, you want to teach others how to make a safety zone for all people in all walks of life.
Yes.
That it is safe for you to be with me at Living Holistically. It's safe.
Yes, it is.
Because you're going to get the support that perhaps no one knew that you needed. That you needed to hear a good word and a word of encouragement so that you can be happy and bouncing and optimistic, and you're able to spread the joy in your community, in your country.
Yes.
And so it's very, very important that we
Yes.
stick together
Yes.
in perfect harmony. Is there anything else that you want to share?
It's unfortunate that this 1 hour is going by so fast because there's so much. I would hope we can repeat this program because there's one thing I just want to share with the brothers in particular. You cannot keep calling your sisters, your girlfriends, the WHORE word or the BITCH word and still expect that we would have a good families in our communities as African Americans or as a people. We have to really respect our women, our sisters, because without them, they are the carriers of the womb of life. And so whatever, the words we say are so powerful. We are seeding. If you seed your girlfriend as a BITCH, then guess what? She's going to produce more BITCH or DOG as we call us. You call yourselves DOG dogs. And so we must watch these languages. And this is, words again are spirit, they are seeds. And so it's good to plant good seeds all the time. And so
that you'll have a beautiful garden.
Yeah, that's all we want. We're back to the Garden of Eden.
Back to the Garden of
the original,
and
planting
so
good seeds.
Every word held in mind reproduces after its own kind.
Yes.
And so may your life be filled with abundance, joy, happiness, peace,
yes,
love, and compassion.
Yes.
May you be filled with prosperity and joy and happiness. May you have great friends.
Yes.
May you have great hospitality.
Amen.
And may you forgive
Adieu.
over and over and over again, 1,000,000 times.
Yes.
If somebody misses the mark.
Yes.
Because the standards for God is very high. But He's so gentle that He will lift you up and will never let you fall again. Stay in love. Namaste. See God in everyone. Thank you very much. And we love you. So give us a call and we'll be listening out for you. Peace.
Adieu.